Assalamu alaikum. This is Naaila, and I am a contributing counselor with About Islam. And I'm the one that comes up here and I talk about relationships. All right, so let me get myself together. Anyone ever got a new phone? And I guess maybe I have first world problems. I got a new phone and I'm still learning how to use it. All right, so I've got a couple of questions already presented and sent in. Thank you so much for sending in the questions that you do. That means that there's someone out there who does find a need for the services, and that's of course, I think that it's great that people are even taking the initiative to even use it, because sometimes we do have options for how we're going to deal with the matter or how we can deal with something, and we just don't choose it. So I'm just really happy to see people send in their questions and using the services here at About Islam, because you don't find them at very many places. Okay, so I'm going to go to the first question, and as you can see, that even if you haven't sent your question in, if you have one, you can do it while we are here live. You can send in a message anonymously and I will get it. I will make sure that I check before the end of today. All right. So this is the first one. I'm a 29-year-old Muslim man, and I come from a culture where talking to the opposite gender isn't appreciated. And as a consequence, I met a girl online and we talked about marriage and found out we're quite compatible. But unfortunately, we live on opposite sides of the planet. And we've never discussed this relationship with our parents, and I don't want to leave her, but at the same time, we are unable to meet for now. And as an expert, what would you suggest me and many others who are involved in this kind of situation? You know, because I do premarital counseling, I do see this situation a lot. Assalamu alaikum. So happy that you have joined us today, and good afternoon. I'm going to try to say your name. I don't want to disrespect it in any way, so if I mispronounce it, please clarify for me. Claudeline, good afternoon. You say afternoon, Claudeline, so there's no telling where you are in the world, because it's almost 9 a.m. where I am here in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm going to go back to this question. This is a huge one, and I see this so often. As a matter of fact, I was in a premarital counseling session just yesterday with a couple dealing with a very similar scenario. The one person was in the United States, and the other person is actually in the UAE. And so, and they were having problems in regard to how do we make this merger and this connection and get to know each other, and we are thousands of miles apart. So I want you to think about your marriage budget. And when I say marriage budget, most people think, well, does that mean how much I'm going to spend on my nikah? Nope, not at all. That's not what I mean. What I mean in regard to your marriage budget is, if you use virtual or online methods as a way to meet someone, do you have a budget? Do you have the time? Do you have the resources? Do you have the family support? Because that's budget too. Valuable budget. You can't buy those things anywhere. Do you have those things in place that will allow you to go to meet this person, that will allow you, this person, to come to meet with your family? Do you have a job that will allow you to take off work? Do you have the money to fly where they are, or to fly her where you are? Do you have family who's willing to go with you? to meet this other person and their family. You don't. Well, it sounds like to me your marriage budget is saying you need to stay local or to stay where your budget will allow you. You know, we always think of budget in regard to money, but resources are not always about cash. You need to also think about how much is this going to cost your head and your heart. It is very expensive and costly emotionally and mentally to get an attachment with someone and you can't act on it. For what? And people do it all the time because you are able to reach out and connect with someone online. It does not mean that this is a person that you are able to create a life with off of social media or off of that dating site. And if you can't, they're outside of your budget. And you need to think about this. Okay. All right, someone asked, when it is said that marriage completes the other half of deen, is that only for men or women? That is for all mankind. It's for all of us. MashaAllah. We trust in Allah's infinite wisdom that He didn't pick a gender. This is specifically for men or specifically for women. Both men and women marry. He said marriage. That is not about gender. That is about the act of marriage itself. Okay, so I'm going to go tip back over there to that marriage budget. I need for folks to really reconsider having these online relationships. And this person, let me go back to the question, when they were asking, what do you suggest and we're able to meet now? What do you do? What do is you use some good judgment and you not get attached with someone in this position. You can't do anything about it. You are unable to meet by right now. Okay, that would be one thing if it were a temporary situation. Are you going to be able to meet in 3 months? Are you going to be able to meet in 6 months? Oh, you're not. So what do? Do you and this person just continue this conversation, just continue this dialogue online where you can't do anything about it, where no one knows that you're having these conversations? And y'all, I'm going to say something. And I'm not saying that this is what this individual who sent this message in, I'm not saying that this is what they're doing. But at some point, the conversation, you get halal out. It stops being halal. You run out of things to talk about. And that's when people start venturing over to the dark side and saying things and having dialogue that you shouldn't say. Don't put yourself in that position. If you know that this person is literally out of your reach so that you can fulfill the due diligence of marriage, of getting married, of marriage preparation, a lot of things that you need to do before marriage. If you can't do it, then this person really isn't an option for you. Okay? So I'm going to go to the next question. And I know a lot of folks don't like that I know they don't, and I really am so okay with it, because for every one person who doesn't like what I said, there are going to be 10 more who are in inboxes and who are online having conversations that they cannot act on and cannot fulfill the commitment of marriage. And I feel very comfortable and content saying that. Okay, so next question. I am a Muslim girl, and my question is, can I as a Muslim make friends through online chatting? I don't exchange any personal contact or details or of any kind. The language used is a day-to-day one, and my friends include both males and females. Am I allowed to make such friends? You know, if I'm. This one is a tricky one. So I'm going to answer it, and I am going to answer it, and I am going to stay totally within the bounds of Islam. You know, if you are having conversations and interactions online with someone, of the same gender, and the two of you are comfortable, and you're not, and you're respectful of one another, and both of you are it's an even exchange, is you are reciprocating, there's nothing wrong with online friendships. You know, I know great people who have established friendships, and yes, even marriage, and they initially met online. I work with people online. I counsel people online. So to say that if something starts out online, that you can't have a friendship and find a lot of comfort from it as a friend, that's not true. You can. And people do. People do get a lot of comfort. And I think that is one of the beautiful things that that social media and online contact can be used for. You know, if nothing else, look at how it has given us access to Islamic scholarship. We are now able to attend classes. We're now able to email in questions. We are now able to have conversations about, you know, about Islamic scholarship that we weren't even able to do before, and to be able to make friends with other Muslims. So it sounds like you're using a lot of discretion. You're keeping yourself safe. And that's beautiful. That should be a great thing that it can be used for. This is totally, totally different from meeting someone and marrying them online. Well, alaikum salam. So glad to see you here. Okay, so a question came in. When parents disagree over getting married to a particular lady and she is already pregnant, it says for their son. I'm going to say with their son. What should be done? There's a lot in that. There's a lot packed into that. There is no right or wrong answer to that one. You know, if she's already pregnant, obviously we have zina that is involved. There's a child here who needs parents and has to be raised, and who is totally innocent from the situation. And then you have parents who are still looking for tradition and culture and Islamic appropriateness to be applied to a situation that's not traditional at all. And so this is surely a situation where a lot of people are not going to be happy, and no one is really going to get exactly what it is that they want. So my recommendation, and I want it to be known that I do not know the cultural context behind this, because I know culture runs deep. Roots run deep, and I don't have any cultural frame of reference to apply or to take into consideration. But I will say that these are definitely two adults who need to make a decision about whether or not they're going to marry, and how they are going to raise this child. Because regardless of whether or not these two individuals marry, they are now family for the rest of their lives. Because a child is about to come into this world, and he or she deserves to be parented well and to be loved despite the circumstances they were born into. They had nothing to do with these circumstances. This is totally about the two adults who created these circumstances. And this is going to be a wonderful start for adulting. Sometimes we make a lot of grown-up decisions before we actually realize just how grown we are. These are two people who have made some grown-up decisions with some grown-up consequences. It's time to make some grown folk choices. This is not going to be about what everyone wants. Wa alaikum salam, Musima. So happy to have you here. I've got one last question. And again, please, if you have a question, you can put it in the comments, or you can send it to About Islam in the message, and I will get it. So again, we have another question. Guys, you picked up on the theme in regard to online and virtual relationships. Okay, so it says, I met someone on the internet and he's interested in me and he keeps saying that I'm the girl that he's looking for. And and first I want to let you know that it's been 2 months that we've been talking to each other, and I want you to know that I'm not in a haram relationship. We chat, and I didn't develop any feelings for him yet, but I am interested to know more about him because I have had some confusing and bad experiences before with men, and I've learned my lesson. I want to take the time to get to know him. I'm 22 and he's 28. And what makes me interested in talking to him is that he prays and he looks mature. He works in the U.S. while I live in the Middle East. He keeps saying he wants to come to my country to see me, but I don't go out with guys without my parents' permission, and he agreed that he would meet my parents. However, he started changing. Maybe it was due to stress at work or he needed some space, but I felt there was something wrong. And I asked him and he said he was thinking, but I told him if it's Allah's decree, the most important thing is about the intention. And then he stopped talking about meeting my parents and I felt some distance from him and I told him how it was that I felt. And then he didn't respond for 3 whole days. And then when he did, he said, Assalamu alaikum, how are you? I hope you're doing well. He completely ignored my message. What shall I do? I don't want a confused person. I don't want to be with someone who doesn't respect what I'm saying. I completely ignore him now and I don't text him. And I prayed istikhara and I feel like he's the one for me. Tell me what I need to do. I wanted to choose my words carefully because I don't want to sound insensitive. My advice to you is to do nothing. There is nothing here for you to do anything with. This is someone that you have had online contact with, that you have not met, that you don't have any intentions with, that your parents have not met, you are not engaged to, you know nothing about. You said, I like him because he prays and he looks mature. That is not even the minimum criteria for making the decision about whether or not this is someone you want to marry. Yes, that might be good criteria. I want to know more about him, but he has repositioned himself. He has moved himself away from you. He is uncoupling with you. When a man wants a woman, the first person to know about it will be her. And he's distancing himself from you. There's nothing for you to do. He's not contacting you. He's not reaching out to you. What can you do with someone who's not going to contact you? Nothing. There's nothing for you to do. And you said, well, I made istikhara. I believe that your answer has already been given to you. This person has removed themselves from your online relationship. There's nothing that you can do. You cannot reestablish or rebuild or reconnect a relationship with someone who has made the decision not to relate to you. I'm hoping that will answer your question. Okay, so someone asked, what is the proper way of proposing a girl or asking for marriage? The proper way is to go to her family, to go to her wakil or her wali. So you will go to her father, and if her father is not alive, then you would go to the men in her family, preferably the men on her mother's side, and you would ask for her availability or her hand in marriage. Please go to her wakil or her wali. If you do not know who this person is, then I would suggest that you go to the imam. This is something that I have seen. I've seen young men or older men, even at that, go to the imam and let the imam know, I am interested in this particular woman. Can you direct me and let me know who her family is? And inshallah, the imam will approach the family on your behalf. and open the door for you. That is the most appropriate way to begin the marriage process. Assalamu alaikum, Sammy. Happy to have you here with us today. So I'm going to very quickly go and check and make sure that you all had no more questions for me today. You have been great. I've loved this discussion on online relationships. Okay, so I got both of them, the ones that came in today, and I am hoping that this has been beneficial for you. Please share this. Let other people know that About Islam has all of these lives that are available for your questions, that you can send the question into the inbox and you can get it answered. If it is something that it requires is an Islamic scholar, that's also an option for you too. So please use this resource, okay? You know, we have so many things that are available to us, and so many times people suffer or struggle and they really don't have to. All right, so thank you so much for joining us. May Allah grant his favor upon you today. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you all so much. Yes, I think About Islam just put up a wonderful reminder. I do provide online. We're talking about online relationships. You and I can establish an online relationship, and About Islam has established a great affordable forum so that people can have counseling, and it's confidential, and it's private, and it's online, and you can do it in the privacy of your home with me. So please use the link to be able to make that happen. Wa alaikum salam. I see we've got a top fan in the room with us for today. So happy to know About Islam has a great tribe and full of top fans. So top fan, we're going to ask that you share this and you tell someone else about this today. Okay? All right, you all have a good day. Assalamu alaikum.